Gas and bloat, gas and bloat. Do you have a gassy, bloaty bloat? Hi, I'm Tanya Hennessy and I order children's meals at the pub. Welcome to this week's episode of The Awkward Ask. Today we are talking about bloating and gas. Two of my favourite things. Joining me today, pharmacist Lynn.
Hi guys, thanks so much for joining us today.
Welcome to the Education Nation, where there's one person who knows stuff and another person who's just here. Okay, let's talk about bloating. How do you get bloated?
So a lot of things around bloating is, you can blame the gut. Let's blame the gut.
The worst, that gut, I tell you.
That damn gut. So when we consume foods, certain drinks like fizzy drinks, for example, our body goes through multiple chemical reactions, breaking down the food, your upper intestine and then your lower intestine. Now, when you consume foods that are complex, they've got long chains of carbohydrates, your body takes longer to break those chains up. And therefore it stays in your stomach or in your intestine or in your gut for longer, and it goes through a fermenting process where bacteria works its magic and produces gas. So in a day, you can produce anywhere from 20 to 25 litres of gas.
But you're not expelling that amount.
Oh, absolutely not.
Imagine.
Absolutely not. So about only 1 to 2 litres of that is expelled, burping, farting.
If you are not bloated, will you still burp and fart?
You mean bloated as in physically?
Physically, yeah.
So just because you feel bloated, and it doesn't mean that you have to physically present as bloating. If you feel lethargic, if you feel like you've got a bit of heartburn, a little bit of indigestion, your body's slowing down a little bit because your gut's not processing things as well as it should be, then yes, you can fart, you burp, because that possibly gives you that release.
I didn't know anything about this. I'm so glad that I'm learning this today.
But did you know that even the act of chewing gum can lead to a bit of bloating?
Is that because you're inhaling oxygen?
Essentially, yes. So it's not the gum itself that's causing the bloating or the reaction, but more the air.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And what are other ways that you can sort of cause bloating? I guess you talked about like maybe complex carbs.
Mm-hmm. Lactose.
Oh, yeah.
Lactose can cause a bit of bloating, diarrhea, an imbalance in fiber. Either you have too much fiber in the diet or too little. So again, everything's very balanced. Gluten intolerances, for example.
Yes.
Yep. That can cause a bit of indigestion and a bit of bloating as well. Or any fizzy drinks, too much alcohol consumption. There are definitely triggers. So the most important thing with this is knowing what your triggers are. And that's also why the FODMAP diet is so popular.
The FODMAP. What is that? It's FOD, but I don't understand what it means.
So the FODMAP diet it's like 3-prong. You look at what you're currently eating, eliminate the complex sugar foods, fruits, vegetables, so certain things like cauliflower, it's a complicated carbohydrate. So your body takes longer to break it down, and then the bacteria causes the gas. So what you want to do with the FODMAP diet is eliminate it and then reintroduce it slowly to see if your body actually reacts to it.
So if you are, a bit gassy, a bit bloated, how can you manage it?
So in terms of managing bloating, the best thing to do would be to identify the triggers, substituting things like cauliflower out with bok choy. Onions, garlic can irritate the guts, and then slowly reintroducing that. But we can definitely help you treat the symptoms and help you manage it, day to day. Certain things like peppermint oil.
Oh, yeah.
Peppermint tea, that could kind of ease the symptoms a little bit. Products with simethicone in it, that will relieve the gases for you. Charcoal tablets or capsules can help to relieve a bit of bloating and gas as well.
Wait, is it actual charcoal?
Yeah, activated charcoal.
And what does
in
that
a capsule
do?
form. Neutralizes.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. But the one that I really recommend is probiotics or prebiotics. The gut is made of millions and if not billions of probiotics. And when we eat things that irritate the gut, when we take certain medications that irritate the gut, we drink too much alcohol, cigarette smoking, or just generally breathing in polluted air, that disrupts that natural balance that we've got in the gut. And when you've got an overgrowth, that could irritate and cause bloating and gas as well. So highly recommend probiotics.
I think it's best to go into a Priceline pharmacist and have this conversation about what your symptoms are, because it could be IBS, it could be a range of different things stemming from, correct me if I'm wrong, from bloating and gas, is that right?
You know, you chuck in those symptoms into Google and it could be something worse. You know, you get IBS, stomach cancer, and why are you freaking yourself out? Head into a Priceline pharmacy, speak to your pharmacist, let us know what your symptoms are, and we can look at treating them. So there's no ambiguity there.
Yeah, you'd rather know what's going on and look for treatment plans.
Yeah,
Instead of...
and considering 2/3 of women experience bloating and gas, it's so common and everybody farts. So if your boyfriend or girlfriend says that they don't fart, they're lying.
Some people really pride themselves on not
farting.
Like they're like, oh, I only fart in private.
My farts smell like roses.
I'm a public farter, I'll tell you that much. I'm very happy to claim my own farts. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of The Awkward Ask, talking about bloating and gas. Just talking about it makes me go, oh, am I a bit bloated? I probably am. I've eaten a really large amount of jelly beans and soft drink today. We will see you next week.
Thanks again for joining us, guys.
You always end so classily. I'm always like, bye, and you're like, bye, I'm elegant, I wear shoes.